Hey, look, it's the double wide dudes. Oh, yeah. Well, all right. Welcome back to another episode of Double Wide Dudes. This is going to be the third part on our family experiences series. But, since the last time we spoke to you guys, Hurricane Harvey hit pretty hard on the Texas coast, AP.
Yeah, it was pretty devastating. They're saying definitely one of the worst storms to hit the United States, and our thoughts are definitely with all those families that have lost loved ones or their homes, and it's just been nuts, Mousetrap.
Yeah, there's some devastating damage, AP. It's, not only Houston, but the Corpus and the Rockport area. I was just talking to a lady today. She just bought land there in July, I think. And, the eye of the storm passed through, and her house got demolished, and along with 80% of the city.
She was down where?
In Rockport.
Rockport.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rockport, I think, got hit the worst, right? Category 4.
It slammed right into there and then drifted up to Houston.
Yeah, it's been nuts to watch, Mousetrap. And, at the same time, I think in a kind of strange way, I think the country kind of needed Harvey. It's been really incredible to see the country, the state of Texas, everybody coming together and everybody just focusing on helping each other out down there in Houston. J.J. Watt's my favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
And he's jumped on there. I think they've raised close to $20 million to help the folks rebuild down there in Houston.
In a week and a half, right? Basically.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And I know you were talking about it earlier. This is the first time a storm like this has hit when we've had social media, when we've had Facebook. And my nephews, my wife's family, they were all in town this weekend from Houston. And he was posting these Facebook Live videos right when the storm was happening and water coming up, thankfully not into their house, but right up to it. It was crazy to see streets flooded.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I know J.J. Watt started, that's just the power of social media. I think his goal was first 500,000.
Yeah, he started real small and just snowballed out of control.
On his Instagram, there's 7 videos each time with it raising the goal. Close to 20 million. I mean, it's not going to stop, probably.
Yeah. And it's going to take a long, long time and a lot of money to help these areas, the coast and Houston, everybody rebuild. So definitely hope this isn't, one of these internet crazes that goes away after a week. Definitely hope this unity as a nation, as a state continues, and we stay focused on getting these people back up on their feet.
Yeah, I don't doubt that's going to happen. A lot of people with their boats came out and helped, and it made me feel good, man, seeing that and seeing so many people come together and save lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and another feel-good story, just this interview that I heard between you and Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's an incredible young man. He's 22.
22?
And you see in the news a lot recently, it's kind of the thing to talk about how hard it is for millennials to become homeowners. Yeah. And this, that, and the other. Yeah, in interviewing Jimmy, you hear the complete opposite of everything you're reading about in the news. Here's a young man that's absolutely been working his tail off to the point where sometimes it was hard to get paperwork done or whatnot just because he works so much. But starting a new family, he just had a brand new baby boy born, and he was bound and determined to make sure that his young son came into a new home.
Yeah,
and that's what he made happen for his family. Really, really proud of this young man, and it was an honor to be a part of making that all happen.
Yeah, and just editing and hearing to the interview, I could just hear the maturity in his voice. Yeah, at such a young age, taking on this responsibility and just knowing that working hard is all that he focuses on and what it takes for him to build any type of vision or plan for his family. So it's good stuff, man. Let's jump right into the interview. That way we can hear Jimmy's first take on his process on becoming a homeowner. Enjoy.
Hello?
Hello, Jimmy.
Yes, sir?
Hey, sir. It's Alberto again.
Hey, how you doing, Sir Victor?
Good, good. I catch you at a better time this time?
Perfect, sir. I just finished eating.
All right, awesome. Ern was telling me y'all just had a baby.
Yes, sir. We sure did.
Congratulations. Boy, girl, what'd y'all have?
A boy.
That's awesome. Congratulations. What'd y'all end up naming him?
We named him Julian Kendra.
Julian, what's the middle name?
Kendra?
Kendra.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's awesome. So we got y'all that new home just in time, huh?
Yes, sir. It was actually perfect.
Very cool. How y'all liking it so far?
Yeah, we love it. Everything's great. I mean, there's always going to be details here and there, but everything in general is great.
Well, that's good. I know we still owe you that cosmetic walkthrough as soon as we get that punch list from you.
Yes, sir.
And I think last time you and I talked, we were doing the closing documents, and you had just gotten a promotion, right?
Yes, sir.
How's that going for you?
It's going great. I actually got after that, I transferred to a mechanic and got a promotion there, so it's going great.
Very cool. So you got new house, new baby, 2 new promotions all in 1 year, huh?
Yes, sir.
I think you're winning at this point. You're doing good, man. That's good to hear.
I'm doing great. It's been a great year, thankfully, and I hope it's going to stay this way for the rest of the year.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know if Ernest told you, we're working on a podcast series right now, Family Experiences. And basically what we're trying to get out of this for our listeners is just some experiences of folks that have gone through the home buying process, that have purchased a manufactured home, kind of get behind the thought process that led up to it, and then your experience going through the process, and then any advice you may have for folks thinking about making a housing change. So,
alrighty, yeah, that sounds cool.
The first question I've really got for you, Jimmy, I know, I mean, you're pretty young, right? You're in your early 20s?
Yes, sir. I'm 22.
22. I guess my first question for you, Jimmy, there's all sorts of articles you're seeing in the news and this and that on how our generation, the millennial generation, is really struggling to become homeowners. Ever since we got to know you back in March, I mean, you've just been busting your tail, and you're kind of the opposite of that stereotype they've been talking about in the news. What do you think makes that the case for you, Jimmy?
Well, most of all, I mean, I've always been taught to work a lot, and I honestly, I don't see myself going down the drain. Yes, I agree with the stereotypic attitude of all the other people around here. I can say that my generation's really not as great as I wish they would be,
Mm-hmm.
But I've always worked hard, always had big dreams, and I have big dreams, and I'm pursuing them. Like you said, I'm young, I'm 22, and so I think there's more than just just a home and maybe a car or two for my family, and I dream big, having the best of best, and only hard work can get you there,
Right. Well, I know it was sometimes tough to get a hold of you because you worked. I think you worked more than we do over here.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the hours that you guys run, but I do get up real early, right around to get up to go to work, get ready to go to work. I get up at 4 a.m, and today it was actually my day off, and I had to go in. And I just got home, so if that's my day off, on a regular day, I usually get home right around 10, 11 at night.
Getting home at 5 o'clock on your day off. Most folks would call that a full day's work.
Yes, sir.
Do you think knowing that your son was on the way drove you to work harder, or were you always like that?
Honestly, I've always worked this hard, sir. I was 18. I had no responsibilities, no bills whatsoever but my rent, and I still worked that kind of hours. Made a lot of money, had a lot of fun, never did anything stupid, never got in trouble. But I've always worked this hard, like I said, my thoughts and thinking of everything was always been work hard and you'll get to where you want to be. So I guess it was it was an easy transfer for me to get married, have a family, because I was already used to it.
Right. So when along that journey of working hard did you decide that you were ready to become a homeowner?
The first thing that I did was move here to Odessa, and I was already with my wife. We did not know that we were pregnant already, and we had already decided we need to become a homeowners because I'm tired of just bouncing around renting places, and that was, like we all know, that's just money we can practically say throw it away because it's not even put to an investment to where you're getting something out of it. It's just keeping you going on a month by month basis. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, it's not gonna get us anywhere, so I'd rather wait a little bit more and get one of the cheapest places around and get a home. We need a home, and that's when we started shopping around. And shortly after that, we found out that we were pregnant. So I told her, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go straight for a new home. I'm not gonna go for anything second marketed, for the reason that the best for the family, and that's what I've always done. And gratefully, that's what I did get.
Yeah. Well, that's a tremendous amount of responsibility all in 1 year. You get a mortgage and you get the responsibility of raising your new son all together. How do you how has your life and your wife's life changed now that you are homeowners?
Well, obviously, the bills are always going to be a part of your life, So no matter where you go, bills are always going to be there. I wouldn't count that as a life-changing event. A way that it did change, and that I'm pretty sure anybody's life would change this way, is the privacy that you do get. The comfort that you can put to your personality, to your own personal life that you can live. It's just great. It's very comfortable. It's a lot more peaceful. Get to make your own decisions. It's very amazing,
Yeah. So privacy, peace of mind, and you get to do it your way, basically.
Yes, sir. Basically, that's it.
So how long did you and your wife talk about becoming homeowners before y'all took action and started making steps to make that possible?
Well, like you said, you got to know me in March. Since we knew that we were going to have our baby, we started talking about it about a month before it, which that would be right around October of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even come across you guys' company till March and got to know you guys. So it took us a while. We thought about it for 6-7 months before we even decided, okay, this is the place we want to go through. And there's a lot of competition out there, but I can honestly and very comfortably say that you guys are one of the best people that I have ever talked to and dealt with. In the fact of hospitality, you guys are the best. I have to put my hands down on that one.
I sure appreciate that. It's fun helping folks like yourself make that life-changing event. I'm curious, between October and when y'all contacted us in March, Jimmy, what options did you and your wife toss around? What were some of the discussions y'all had?
We first started out with used mobile homes, see what we can get here and there, something cheap. I wasn't looking to spend a lot of money, for the due fact that we weren't really at notice. Back in October, we weren't at notice that we weren't pregnant yet. So when we did come into notice that, hey, we're pregnant, and I told my wife, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot for it and shoot for a new home. We started tossing around companies, and we tossed around every single company in town, and we looked at every single option we had in town before I even started searching anywhere else. And I can easily say it was right around 25 companies in town that I went to go look at their prices, compared. I compared everything: hospitality, delivery, services, everything. And like I said, I have to put my hands down on you guys' hospitality and service, customer service.
Well, again, we sure appreciate that. So you went to, 25 different dealerships before we started
20
talking?
to 20. Yeah, 20 to 25 before we even started talking, yes, sir.
That's a lot of shopping. I know it's a big experience and big choice. We definitely encourage folks to shop, but I don't know if I've ever met someone or talked to someone that did that much research. What was the experience like talking to that many dealerships?
Well, honestly, I personally learned a lot as a customer, as of what company is trying to just get you to buy the home, and they'll turn around and screw you. And I learned how to how to evaluate the company itself as of how they were treating you, how they really wanted to help you out. A lot of companies out there, you go in there and they promise you a set price, they promise you a new home. Sometimes they promise you a delivery and a setup and the caliche pad, the whole 9 yards to go with this new mobile home that you're buying. And I came across the best one that I came across. He promised me the price that you guys were giving me, and I went in there right before we were getting ready to sign paperwork. He started filling everything out, and he bumped that price up almost $8,000 over what he had said it was a set price. And that's something that I really appreciate from you guys, because when you guys gave me a set price, it was that price, and we always stuck to that price.
Wow, so y'all were about to buy elsewhere, and all of a sudden the price changed $8,000?
Yes, sir. It was a tremendous increase. I was really upset with him. He kept calling me back. But I'm like I said, I shopped around. I knew what my options were, and that was even before I met you guys. I was about to shop for a home that was about $8,000 more expensive than you guys gave it to me, and it was the same home. Not the same home, actually. In my opinion, it was a more simpler home than the one that you guys provide for us. So it was just all around a great decision for me to keep searching.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely glad you did. What advice, Jimmy, would you have for folks that are just starting the process and just starting to shop retailers? I know you said you kind of figured out a way to tell who was legitimate and who was honest and who wasn't. What advice would you give to folks listening that are about to go through the same process?
Some big advice that I would tell them is don't let them just say it to them. Realize what they're saying to you, and when they get down to the paperwork, make sure that is what they put on the paperwork. If they told you they would get you let's say a caliche pad and a delivery and a setup and all for a price, and they once they tell you that price, make sure you remember that price. There's a lot of companies that go out there and they promise you this and that, and before you know it, you're signing paperwork and you never paid attention to that price again, and you accepted something that was not the cheapest, and it might not even be the greatest service for the same reason that they just say it, but they will not put it on paper. So
it sounds like really hold them accountable to what they're saying when they're trying to get you excited, basically.
Correctly, yeah. Just be very careful for those companies that they are trying to just hook you onto them, and before you know it, they're just selling you something for a way higher price, something that's not of quality as of I can say as of you guys, is because your quality was great, and I really appreciate the way your customer service and the way I was treated throughout the whole experience from day one to the day of closing. I really appreciate it all.
Yes, sir. And what's really unique about this, Jimmy, we've actually never met you face to face. You never saw our product in person. It was all online and over the phone. So I guess, this is a huge decision. What was going through y'all's mind when you were exploring the possibility of doing business with a company knowing you would never meet us face to face?
That was actually a very scary experience for me, and my wife is sitting next to me and says the same thing. It was a very scary experience for me, I was putting my money on the line and all that, but I did respectfully to you guys, I did make my research upon you guys, and something that really helped you guys out for my decision towards you guys, the podcast, all the stories that you guys share, and how you guys did all these people home. That really motivated me. That said, these guys are really legit. They have videos. They're posting it. A big thing that caught my eye was Facebook. I know there's a lot of people that use Facebook nowadays, and that caught my eye. I went on you guys' pages and I did research a lot of stuff and how you guys worked and how long you guys took to make homes and all that. And yeah, everything that I researched and everything that came out of you guys' mouth, yours and Ernest's, it was always set in stone, and you guys came across with it, and that's something that I grew trust in, and I believe that you guys were the best company that I could have gone with.
Well, that's awesome. Even though you never got to meet us, right? At the end of the day, you felt comfortable?
Yeah, I never got to meet y'all. I wish I would have had the chance. I saw a couple of videos where you guys would deliver homes and have all the GoPros on the house. You guys would go down, make sure everything got set up right, and I had that hope in me that you guys would come down. I'd get to meet y'all and thank y'all personally the way you guys treated me. But I mean, it didn't happen, and that's all right. This is a great experience, like you say. For me, it's a great experience to be able to say, you don't have to meet you. I don't have to meet you for you guys to be able to say, hey, this is a responsible company, a responsible partnership between you guys. And I really encourage anybody that can go out there and research you guys, research all the other companies, and they'll see that you guys are one of the top quality companies that I could ever have seen out here in Texas.
Well, thank you, sir. One day we're going to be out there in Odessa, Jimmy, and we will definitely let you know when we get out there. And likewise, if y'all ever make it down to San Antonio, you got a free dinner on us.
Well, I really appreciate that, sir. All right. I'm always going to be out there. I'm always driving. I'm always doing something. So maybe one day we'll bump into each other and we'll have that dignity to be able to say, hey, we had dinner together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, lastly, Jimmy, any last advice you would give to someone that was in your shoes? You said you listened to the podcast and that helped you make your decision. Any last bit of advice you would give to someone just starting the process and thinking about making the move to become a homeowner?
Big advice that I say is don't get caught up by the first company. Don't get caught up by the first bribes. Don't rush. First of all, don't rush to buy your home. Everybody out here, I know they want to get in a home. I know they want to get comfortable. They want to feel like their money is worth it. Like I said, me and my wife, we sat it out for about 6-7 months, and believe it or not, we were living in a little RV, sitting it out, waiting to buy the right home.
So just patience. Make sure it's the right decision, not the rush decision.
Yes, sir. Pace yourself. Make sure it's the right decision. And it is that you are buying what you want. I knew what I was buying with the model. There was one in town. I went to go look at the one in town just to look at the model. And that's whenever I contacted you guys and say, hey, look, I've seen the model. I've been in the model, so I know what I'm trying to purchase from you guys.
Well, awesome, Jimmy. Thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast and sharing your experience with our audience. We'll definitely stay in touch. I know we owe you a service walkthrough once we get your punch list and whatnot. And heck, every time I talk to you, you're getting promoted. So I can only imagine where you're going to be next time we chat.
Well, sir, I hope everything keeps going well as the same way this year has been going, and I hope everything goes great for you guys the same way. We're all in this life together. We're all in this boat together, trying to make superior lives of everything that we have. So I really hope that you guys do great yourself.
Well, thank you, sir, and our best to your new son and your growing family, Jimmy. You take care.
Thank you, sir. You do the same.
That was Jimmy and Alberto talking about his home buying experience. That was a solid interview, and there was a lot of good information and tips that Jimmy threw out there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That does it for this episode. We're going to have about 1 or 2 more episodes on the family experiences to share with you guys. As always, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you in the next one.